What is up, fellow Pyro Fanatics? It's Daddy28 here, and today we're going to be doing the unboxing of the heavy-duty assortment by World Class Fireworks. As you see here, this is the back of the box. Before I get to a little bit more on this assortment, I wanted to give a huge shout out to Rob Weller, aka Pyro Nation. Rob Weller was actually passing through a little while back to go to a demo, and he pretty much passed through the entire state of Ohio, and he actually took some time out of his day on his way back to actually sell me a case of these Pyro Nation Jawbreakers. I loved them so much last year that he was willing to sell me a case at a pretty good price too. You know, you're only going to get the best prices if you get it from the ODOG, original distributor and original gangster Pyro. There you go. I hope I said that right. Anyways, so just wanted to kind of throw that in. I know I usually would make a stash update on this, but it's just a case of one item, so figured kind of put it in this video, and it's a very special video because it's an unboxing of this monstrosity. So let's get to this unboxing of the heavy-duty assortment. As I mentioned before, it's by World Class. I like the back of the box. It's a very nice design. So they got some directions and whatnot on the back here, so it's pretty nice for people. Usually people who aren't really experienced in fireworks, or particularly in shopping for fireworks, they'll usually just go for assortments. They'll want a mixture of something. They won't really know much about fireworks, or not know enough about fireworks to try and pick and choose and decide. And by the time they end up doing research and whatnot, it gets to be a headache and a hassle, so they just ultimately end up getting an assortment. So the heavy-duty assortment is actually one of the nicer assortments that you could purchase, because it comes with a bunch of 200-gram cakes and a 24-pack of Excaliburs. Now in this assortment, it's called Total Destruction, but it's actually the Excaliburs. I mean, I don't know why they felt the need to change the name and call it something else, but at any rate, that's what it is. Maybe they wanted to make it confuse people, make them think that it's something new entirely, but I mean, when you look at it, it's clear as day. It's Excaliburs. But anyways, so you get the box of Excaliburs, and I believe you get somewhere around 18 or 19 200-gram cakes. Now, a few of those cakes, I believe, are hybrids, kind of like half cakes, half fountains. And you'll also get this mini 1-inch mini artillery shell kit, and we all know how much fun we had with those the last time we demoed these type of shells. So, so that should be a doozy. So I'm gonna kind of have to open this up with my utility knife. So I'm gonna have to pause the video real quick, and I'll get back to you guys when I open this thing up. Okay, guys. So finally was able to open up the plastic wrapping or packaging around this assortment. So let me open this up on the side here. And I believe this is removable as well. Yes, it is. Alright, so there it is. The entire assortment in all its glory. So we're going to try to start from the top here. This Excalibur shell kit, and it's called Total Destruction. Let me see if I can pull it out without taking out all the cakes. It's going to be kind of hard to do with one hand. But, alright. Success. Alright, so we got this 24-pack of Excaliburs, and it's called Total Destruction in this assortment, but in reality it's actually the Excalibur shell kit. Now they have a picture of all the effects on the side here. I don't know if these are accurate, to be honest. The back of the box, let me see what it looks like. Might be the same thing as the front. And yeah, just about. Just says supercharged maximum load. Alright, so got the box opened. And let's see what we have in here. We got more pictures, should I say, sorry. There we go. Wow. Is that what I think it is? Oh my goodness, I think that's a fiberglass. That's a fiberglass tube. I figured there'd be HDPE tubes in here. That's a little disappointing. Okay guys, so here is what the shells look like, pretty much like your average Excaliburs. And here's what the tube looks like. It's a fiberglass tube, as you see here. It's not an HDPE tube, so that's a little disappointing to find out. So, and on top of that, I think these might be the double fused shells. So, okay, so I stand corrected. These are not double fused. It kind of fooled me at first. I thought the way it was wrapped, the fuse was wrapped, I figured it was double fused and it had that pink fuse on the inside. But no, it does not have the double fuse, which would have been a real kick in the head if it did, because those shells are notoriously weaker. And from what I remember, those were only around last year. I don't know if they're around for the 2019 versions. And I'm assuming these are the 2019 Excaliburs. We'll have to kind of compare these with the other shell kit that I got, that I purchased. So, alright, so we're going to be moving on to the rest of the assortment here. We got 18 total cakes and 1 mini artillery shell kit. Now, some of these cakes, I believe, are hybrids, so it's kind of like half fountain, half cake, and they're either going to be by Boomer or World Class. So, moving to the top left over here, we're going to start here. We got Turning Heads by Boomer, and it's a 16-shot cake. And the performance, over here, there we go. Performance is 16 shots of brocades to red, green, and blue stars with swirling golden tails. Now over here we got Afterburner by Boomer, and this is also 16 shots. And the performance on that over here. We got 16 shots of golden waves to crackles with golden tails. Alright, the next cake is Eye of the Tiger. I like that song. By Boomer, and doesn't say the number of shots, but I believe it's also 16. Yes, it is. 16 shots of brocades to red, green, and blue stars with swirling golden tails. Wait a minute. I believe another cake, the first cake, I believe, had this same performance. Let me double check to make sure. I'm going to put it to the side over here. And, yep, Turning Heads. And the performance on that one is 16 shots of brocades to red, green, and blue stars with swirling golden tails. Yeah, I think it's the same thing. So it's pretty much the same cake, but with different names. So you got what's it called? Or sorry, not After. It's Turning Heads and Eye of the Tiger. So they're pretty much the same cakes. So I kind of feel bummed out about that one. Figured you get pretty much different cakes, but you get two of the same thing. So it's a bit of a bummer. But anyways, moving on. We got Gone Bananas by Boomer. 16 shots as well. Hopefully the performance is not the same as any of the cakes that I mentioned previously. Got 16 shots of red, blue, and white stars with swirling silver tails. So instead of golden tails, we got silver tails. And I believe one of the colors is different as well. So these cakes pretty much have a similar performance, but with like a different, different colors, maybe different types of silver tails. I believe the Afterburner cake is the only one that's considerably different from the other three cakes. But anyway, moving on, we got Bottoms Up by Boomer. Seen this cake quite a bit in World Class Assortments. And the performance on it is red palm and silver glitters, purple palms, and green glitters by turns. And how many shots is this again? Oh, wait a minute. It's on the back over here. 6 shots, actually. So it's should be a nice, decent-sized small cake. Hopefully it'll perform pretty well. All right, next cake we got, I believe this is called Deuces Wild. Yes, it is. It's by World Class. I don't know the number of shots yet. We got white glitter, dark purple with purple tail. So they don't have the number of shots listed here. I'm going to assume this is a 7-shot cake. Usually cakes that are shaped like this are 7 shots. Or maybe 8 shots. So it's probably either going to be 7 or 8 shots. Unfortunately, it does not say the number of shots. But there is also a scan option for this cake, and I'm pretty sure there's other ones on the other cakes as well. So, next cake we got Hot Zone by World Class, and once again I don't see a number of shots listed on this cake. It's weird. All right, so here's the performance. We got 6 shots. 6 shots: red chrysanthemum, red comet tail, white chrysanthemum, white comet tail, blue chrysanthemum, blue comet tail. Last 1 shot: red blue pearl with white strobe. All right, so next cake here, we got Cruising for a Bruising by World Class. I believe this is also a 6-shot cake. Yes, indeed, a 6-shot red peony, white pearl, red tail. So these, pretty much these hexagon-shaped cakes are probably all going to be 6 shots if they're not listed for the shots, if the shots aren't listed, sorry. All right, next cake here, we got Land of Free by World Class. Now, I'm very familiar with this cake because I had this cake in I believe it was the King Assortment by World Class. I believe that assortment had this cake as well. And when I remember about this cake, it was pretty good performer. My only issue with it was that the breaks were kind of low. But it's a 200-gram cake, so you don't expect it to go too high. All right, let's see here. Red, white, and blue stars with reports for the performance. I remember this cake, the shots were listed on it last time I saw it. I just don't know what it was. So it's going to be kind of an educated guess with this one. I can't tell from the top. It might be a 20-shot cake, maybe a 19-shotter from the looks of it. But my guess would be 20 shots, I guess. All right, so moving on. We got, gosh, I can't even see the name for this cake. Here we go, Papa Top. And I believe this is by Boomer. Yes, sir. And the performance on this is peach-colored peonies and silver glitters, lemon and blue beads by turns. And I don't know if it says the number of shots. Here we go, 6 shots. So this is a 6-shot cake. All right, next cake here is by Boomer, and it's called Penny Pincher. It's a unique name for a cake. All right. I don't see a number of shots. Well, let's see the performance. A multi-shot repeater that shoots a fantastic display high in the sky. It begins with blue stars with brocade, then to white glittering willow. And unfortunately, this cake also doesn't display the number of shots. Gosh, Jake's Fireworks is slacking off on listing the number of shots on these cakes because I have no idea what how many shots this cake is. The tubes are somewhat big. I'm assuming it's a 16-shotter. Yeah, I'm going to say it's a 16-shot cake. So, next cake is by Boomer, but the name is probably on the side somewhere. We got Martin's Bomber, 16-shot. So this is a Boomer version of Martin's Bomber. So this is pretty much a classic cake. Pretty much just about every brand has their version of Martin's Bomber. And we got 16-shot of red and blue stars and whistles and crackles. The finale is 4 shots at one time. All right, next we got another classic cake, and it's by World Class, and it's called Reckless. I believe this is also a 16-shot cake, if I'm not mistaken. All right, we got a multi-shot repeater that shoots a dynamic display high into the sky. Start with a red crackling chrysanthemum with red tail, then a crackling with chrysanthemum with white tail, lastly a crackling blue chrysanthemum with blue tail. The finale is all effect in a running fire. And once again, they do not have the number of shots listed. I'm going to assume it's a 16-shot cake because it seems to be shaped that way. All right, the next item here, we got Access Denied by World Class, and this may be a hybrid, I'm not positive. And the performance on it is 6 shots of red pearl, red dahlia, red tail. So I think this is a true cake. I don't think this is a hybrid. All right, I'm assuming this is going to be a happy cake or something similar to it. All right, we got Pack-a-Punch by Boomer, 49 shots, sorry. And this is a very, very, very light cake. So I don't know if this is like Saturn missiles or I can't tell. It looks like it's Saturn missiles. Let's see if it has a performance listed on here. There we go. Red green with time rain. And maybe just mine's. I'm not positive, but that would be my guess because it's a pretty light cake. The name is kind of deceptive. It says pack a punch, but I don't know if it's going to pack that much of a punch. So anyways, let's start off to the right over here. We got Mad Max by World Class, and I believe this is either a hybrid or it's a pure fountain. We got a mixed shower of red, green stars and white glittering for 10 seconds and shoot up red and blue stars each 3 times. So it's a hybrid. All right, next over here we got Bellringer, and it's by World Class. Don't know if it says the number of shots. Doesn't look like it. Well, here we go. 6 shots of white palm, red dahlia with red tail. Saved by the performance that time. And over here we got a mini artillery shell kit. It's kind of bent a little bit since they had to fit all these cakes inside. And I've had my experience with this one before. It's the 1-inch Magnum artillery shell. I did that mini artillery shell comparison that I did a few years back, which was kind of funny. I definitely recommend that video if you want a good laugh. I don't really like these mini artillery shells. They're unpredictable. They can get dangerous, especially if on top of the fact that they break low, they also have the plastic cover, like a plastic ball shell instead of like a regular paper ball shell, or with cardboard and whatnot, instead of the usual, or instead of the very dangerous plastic ball shells that some of these mini artillery shells come in. If I remember correctly, I think this one was paper, from what I remember, in cardboard. I don't think it was plastic, but it could be wrong, because some of these shell kits have like a dual version. Like with the Winda 1-inch shells, they'll have a plastic version and they'll have a paper version. So I'm not going to bother opening this up, but when I do the demo for them, when I demo this assortment off, I'll show the shells to you guys so you can see what it looks like. So we'll put these off to the side. And the last item on here is Motormouth by World Class, and it's 96 shots. This is pretty much like a Saturn missile for the most part, or not Saturn missile, sorry, it's a zipper cake, mini zipper cake. And the performance is on the side over here. We got red, silver, and green comet tails, green to red, red to blue, purple to yellow, red and green bees, red, blue, and green bouquet with loud whistles, red, silver, and green comet tails with report, green to red, red to blue, and purple to yellow with report, golden lotus with report, crackling with report. It's a lot of different effects in this one, so definitely like that. So it's not going to be monotonous in any way, and definitely like my zipper cakes to have variety in them. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So here's pretty much a view of what's in this assortment. Let me kind of move back here so you guys could kind of have a look at what it looks like. Along with the Excals on the side over here. Let me bring the Excals in as well. So actually, no, I'll put them up against the wall so you guys can get a better look at it. Okay, guys, so here's pretty much the entire assortment out of the box. You got the cakes and the mini artillery shell kit in the middle, and also the Excals on the outer edges, pretty much. So yeah, this is pretty much the entire assortment on the outside. And once again, I had intended to purchase this assortment from American Fireworks, but luckily I was able to win that the Chinese raffle package where it had this assortment. So I believe this assortment, off the top of my head, it costs somewhere, I want to say around between 175 maybe to 200, somewhere around there, maybe 150 to 200, somewhere. It'll range probably between that range, between 150 to 200 bucks. Which isn't a bad deal considering you get the Excals and the shell in the assortment, and you get about 18 different types of cakes. Well, 17. A couple of them were pretty much had the same effects, but at any rate, it's pretty much 18 total cakes and a mini artillery shell kit, and it's not a bad deal at all. I mean, when you try to break it down, the Excals will cost anywhere from 50 to 75 retail. And these cakes, pretty much on average, will probably go for about 7 to 8 bucks maybe. If you take the cost amongst all of them, just kind of like divide it and get the average out, it'll probably be about 7 to 8 bucks each for these 200-gram cakes, and you get like 18 of them. So you calculate that. I mean, if you look at the base figure, it's 70, and then with the it's about 135, 140 bucks for the cakes by themselves, and you add the Excals, and it comes out to about a little over 200 bucks if you don't get the assortment. So it'll probably be about somewhere between, cost you 200, 250 bucks if you don't get the assortment. If you get the assortment, it'll probably be between 150 to 200. So you save a little bit of money by getting the assortment. If you're looking for just a bunch of different types of cakes, and you also you like the Excals and you want to have those as well, I mean, it's not a bad idea to purchase this assortment at all, which is why I had intended to purchase it, because I figured it was a pretty good assortment. It had a bunch of different 200-gram cakes in it, and you get the Excals in it as well, and I figured I'd be able to demo all of those one at a time for you guys. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoyed this unboxing of the heavy duty assortment by World Class.